Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Let's Get Loud podcast. This is a solo podcast episode with A. How is everyone? I'm so good, guys. How was Halloween? Did I admit to you guys last week, I think, how much I disliked Halloween? It actually wasn't that bad. Okay, here's the thing, too. If you guys listened last week, my children were going to go trick-or-treating alone. And I didn't care about not being with them, that part, because it's not like they don't even like talk to you, right? You just like see them and they run to the next house and whatever. I think what got to me is that my kids are getting to the age that they are having experiences without me, like real life experiences, like trick or treating. And maybe just like that moment where I'm like, oh wow, they really need me a lot less. I'm finding this this feeling got to me kind of at the beginning of grade 8, and I don't know if it was the realization that like Alfie's going into or high school. Oh my gosh. But I just kind of all of a sudden have this feeling of like, oh my gosh, like these babies are only going to be my babies for just like a few more years, which I know they're always my babies, but I don't know. I feel the shift, I should say, in their age and the dynamics of our family, and I'm not sure I'm okay with it. And I find that as I've been a mom, I've been like totally okay with every next stage, but this stage feels really scary because it feels like it's almost like the last stage. More Alfie than the girls. Like next year he's in grade 9, he's in high school. How many more years do I have him like living at home? The girls always joke when I say that because they're like, Mom, Alfie's gonna live in the basement forever. You're fine. Anyway, so Halloween did its thing. I was happy to see it go. We're crushing it over here with managing the food that got brought in. Also, what was interesting, so I find as a family, we're a very sharesy family. Like we don't do we're very much a team. So like when there's chores to be done, maybe Alfie's had football or had a football game or the girls are at basketball. And like if someone's not there, it's not like, oh, I'm going to save their work for when they're here. It's like, no, let's all chip in. We'll do this. Maybe they won't unload the dishwasher, but they'll do it next time kind of thing. And we're like that with food a lot. We share a lot of food when we go to restaurants. Often we just order a bunch and we all share. So we'd always done that with Halloween candy. We would go out with the kids, they'd come home, put it in a big pile. We would separate it, and then it would be like, after supper, I'd be like, okay, go pick, one or two things from your Halloween candy, and that can be your dessert. Well, this year, Alfie said to me, and I really think it stemmed just from a conversation with his buddies, honestly. Well, first of all, he wanted to go on his own. So, and he was like committed to like really getting a lot of candy. And he said to me, Mom, is it okay if this year I keep my own candy? And so I was like, sure, seems fair. He's gonna go out a lot longer than the girls. And so he came home with so much candy. Anyways, it's in the garage. They are doing really good with it. Sometimes after school I'll have a piece or for school dessert or for after. So it's definitely a lot more, I don't want to say junk food, nutrient deficient, highly processed foods than we're used to eating every single day. But then on the other hand, I'm watching them manage it with independence. And, I was always my biggest problem was my relationship with food and binging and the loss of control around food and especially processed food. And like fast food. And so part of how I've chosen to attempt to raise my children around food is to give them access and give them opportunities to manage it themselves. And we have lots of conversations around here about, nourishing our bodies and how we feel when we eat an excessive amount of food like that and just giving them the freedom. So, anyways, Halloween is like done, done, done. I actually have this like itch, weird, to decorate for Christmas. Did I just say that out loud? Listen, I love Christmas, but I just also feel like 2 months is like an unnecessary amount of time to spend celebrating one thing. But I don't know. I'm feeling a little itchy to maybe get out the decorations. Now we have multiple trees. We have 3 trees. One is a real tree. Obviously, I cannot get a real tree in my home. November 7th, it will die. But I might get out some of the bins after Remembrance Day. I feel like that's important to leave that until after Remembrance Day, but maybe after Remembrance Day, we'll get going over here. I'm not sure. And also, November is definitely, I started to think about Christmas time and gift giving. Last year, I set a goal to finish my Christmas shopping in November and I did it. And it felt so good. It was like, it was very, it left December for um just to enjoy December, and it left me to not feel like as stretched, because I found in December there's also more social things, and there's like, and then fun things like let's make cookies, let's do gingerbread houses. Well, I found I had a bigger capacity to do those things with the family because all my gifts were purchased. So I'm going to set that same goal for myself. I just said it out loud. That only leaves me 3 weeks, but I got this. What I did last year is I made a list and then I just looked for sales. And as the sales popped up in November, I would make that purchase. You know, Black Friday, I went in hard. And then anything that hadn't been on sale that I hadn't already purchased, after Black Friday, I just bought it and I was like, done, done, done. So I should try to get like a gift guide ready for you guys. Would you enjoy that? Can you guys send me a DM on Instagram? Do me a favor, Alicia_YWWL, and tell me what kind of like support are we looking for when it comes to the holidays? Are we looking for like a wellness gift guide? Are we looking for tweens, boys, girls? I think I could organize that for myself. And why don't I organize that for you guys as well? I think that would be fun. Anyways, let me know. Um, so that's what's going on over here. I am just finished week 9 of my weight program and I feel incredible. Actually, guys, I had an accident this week. And this is a real lesson for me. So I was at the gym at a time I don't normally go. I had slept in. My phone, where I charge my phone, it like is a magnetic like little thing and it just sits up. And if it's not touching my side table, I don't hear the vibration. So I hadn't heard the vibration. Anyways, so I'm at the gym at like 10 a.m. And I'm doing a squat on the Smith machine. So a Smith machine has a bar and you clip it in and you clip it out, okay? And it has all kinds of different, like it has all kinds of different levels. So you could clip it high, clip it low, whatever. I use it all the time, like several times a week. And I had just finished a squat and I had clipped in the bar. And if you think about the bar sitting on your neck, right? And I was ducking under to take a break. Well, what happened is I hadn't actually clipped the bar in properly. And so the bar weighs 45 pounds itself. And I had added, luckily, not that much, maybe 30 pounds each side of weight. So imagine the momentum that comes from 100 pounds falling. Okay. And that's what it did, free fall plus gravity. It hit me, but I don't know where. Like, obviously, it was somewhere here because that was the only part of my body kind of available to be hit. I don't feel any pain from the hit. But the momentum from the bar hitting me pushed me and I went flying. I fell into a bench that was behind me. Maybe that helped my fall. I don't know. Ripped my leggings. My AirPods went flying. I would say I was really sore after it happened. More like whiplash sore than concussion sore, but we don't know. And I got some bruises. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm like that little kid showing their boo-boos. I didn't even know what arm it was on. I only saw these bruises today, actually. Got some decent bruises though from that fall, and I'm not going to show you my ass on the podcast, but I got some decent boo-boos on my ass too. My ass caught a lot of the drama. Anyways, so that was a good lesson for me to just like pause and take your time, Alicia. Really focus on what you're doing. Like that is a serious machine. I mean, I could have been so seriously hurt. Like it could have hit me in a very, I didn't want to think about it. Anyways, so week 9 is done, including a dramatic injury. And I'm feeling incredible. I am feeling stronger. I was actually doing reverse lunges today, which at the beginning of when I started this, I remember doing reverse lunges with zero weight and thinking, I can feel my muscles ripping. Like it was like I would I would do the lunge and I would like I could literally like feel them ripping. And I felt great. And so feeling great feels great. And seeing progress with how much I can lift and just I feel like my body looks a little bit different. And I'm really locked in right now to my nutrition as well. I have like a framework that I'm really working with, which is like 4 to 5 meals a day, prioritizing protein, prioritizing nutrient dense food, and just sticking with that as consistently as possible. And I'm just feeling so good. So that's kind of my personal update here, all over here. But none of that is what I came to you guys to talk about. So I wanted to talk about habits. So I was talking about what habits I had done to create a little bit of a transformation with myself. And people are always asking me, like, what are you doing? And so then you tell them what you're doing. It's also never one thing. You know, I definitely have had in the past couple years a significant wellness transformation. It's been years since I've had a weight loss transformation, but it really has been not that long that I've had a wellness transformation. I actually saw a photo that I had sent a friend. A friend was asking about something, and I sent them a photo, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, look how dull your skin was there." And you could literally see my wellness, what's it called? Glow up. You could literally see it from the inside, the outside in kind of thing. But it's never one thing, right? It is never one thing. It's not because of this, it's not because of this, it's all the things. And then on top of that, not only is it those things, but it's that I work to create habits. And so I thought about if I came here and explained to you guys how I make new habits, that would be helpful. So there's really 4 pillars, 4 tools. And I don't use them all for every single habit, but there's four tools in my habit toolbox that I pull out when I am trying to create a new good habit. There's different tools that I use when I'm creating a bad habit, which maybe I can come next week. If you guys enjoyed this content, let me know. And I can make a podcast about diminishing or changing a bad habit. And let's go ahead and define good habit, okay? A good habit is simply something that and a behavior that you are working towards becoming automatic, that aligns with your vision and focus of yourself. So, and only you get to decide what is a good habit and what is a bad habit. Like you could sit on the couch every single night and eat chips and wine, and no one gets to tell you that's a bad habit but you. Only you get to decide that, okay? You are the CEO. You take ownership of your wellness. If that does not a bad habit to you, then I support you. So, how? Let's get into this. So, before I start, wow, you're like, get to it. I need to say 2 things about habits. Number one, you're not going to change it overnight. Okay. Small steps, small steps, so small. Sometimes you can barely see the progress. Why so many people fail at changing their habits is because they don't give it the time it requires to be a small step. Small step. Okay. Thing number 2, stop trying to change things that you think you should or you have to. Okay. Those are never going to stick. So you are like, I am going to get off the couch because I need to be more active. No, do you want to get off the couch? I'm going to eat more protein because I have to or I should. No, do you want to? So really focus on those identity-based habits. And so what I mean by that is that habit that you're working towards is who you want to be. Like, I want to be the person that is active. Amazing. Let's work on that habit. Not I should be more active or I have to be more active. It's not good enough and it's not going to end in change. Okay. So there's my little pre-habit pep talk. So 4 tools that I use when creating new habits. Number 1, I make it satisfying. Your brain loves rewards. Okay. So make it satisfying. Here's one of the issues with creating habits. The reward often comes way later. Look at me right now starting weight training. Literally, it's been 9 weeks of consistency. And I feel like only in the last couple weeks am I really getting the reward, feeling stronger. That was the goal. Okay. But honestly, you don't get that right away. And our brain needs to be rewarded. Like our brain loves the moment when it is like, yeah, you're awesome. And so what I use often to make my habits rewarding for myself is a template. And I know it's boring, but a little check mark. To me, a little check mark is so rewarding. Let me get out my habit tracker, which I don't want to be like, I'm so awesome. I'm 10 years into my wellness journey and look at me. But do you know what? I'm so awesome. I am 10 years into my wellness journey and look at me. Okay? I'm consistently working towards better. All right? So, this is my little habit tracker. I'm doing this along with our members, and you see all my check marks. That is so reinforcing to me. So what I do is I sit, so that's Fridays. On tomorrow morning, I will sit and I will do check marks on all of the things that I actually checked off, and that is very rewarding to me. Sometimes even I'll put that check mark, I'll put that sheet in my kitchen, and as I'm doing the things, I check it off. That is satisfying to me. Now, maybe a template or a check mark isn't satisfying for you. So find a way to reward yourself after your new behavior immediately after you do it. Okay. Thing number 2, make it easy. I'm going to give you guys, so remove friction is what I mean by make it easy. I'll give you guys the best example. Okay. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I feel like, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before. Anyway, we're going for it. The best example is Apple Pay. Okay. So you are laying in bed and you are going to make a purchase. Apple Pay has removed all the friction from that thing. You just have to double tap. It doesn't get easier than that. Okay. If you had got out of bed, had to create a new account, entered your address, find your credit card, that's friction. And the chances that you actually follow through with that action are reduced. So I want you to Apple Pay your behaviors. Okay. Make it as easy as humanly possible. So you want to start measuring your creamer, put a tablespoon right beside your coffee maker that lives next to your coffee maker. You want to drink more water, put the water, fill all the water that you want to drink all day up at the beginning of the day or the night before and have it in your fridge ready to go. It is crazy how the tiniest little tweak in your environment of making it easier can increase your behavior. I remember when I was doing a lot of homework with the kids, I had a homework bin. I had pencils, I had paper, I had erasers. The amount of homework we did increased simply because it was so easy. I didn't have to be like, go get a pencil. Where's this? Burr, burr, burr. I said to get out the bin, boom, 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 boom. Okay. I did that with the bathroom too. So I wanted to get to a point where I could just do a quick, easy, I just wanted to keep the bathroom cleaner in between the bigger cleans, basically, in between the deep cleans. And so all I did was I bought supplies for each bathroom and I have it underneath the sink. I make it easy. So when I'm upstairs, I'm like, you're disgusting bathroom. I don't have to go downstairs to get supplies. I just open up, boom, done. 5 minutes. It increased the amount that I was doing that. Okay. So make it satisfying. That means giving yourself a reward. Make it rewarding. Make it easy. Literally just make it easy. That one's pretty easy. Make it attractive. So if you're trying to create a new habit that you don't actually like, it's going to be pretty tricky. So you can do 2 ways you can make it attractive. 1, try and make the actual behavior attractive, but 2, pair the behavior with something that's very attractive to you. So for example, I love the secret lives of Mormon wives. Someone is at my door, but I think it's probably just a delivery. So we're just going to look and see if I need to answer the door while I'm recording a podcast. Okay. See, oh, no, see, I don't. A delivery dude. Actually, it's not Secret Lives of Mormon Moms. I mean, that's okay. I do love Real Housewives though. And so I love the Real Housewives while I'm on the stepper. And so how do I make the stepper attractive? I watch trash TV. I do the same thing with dishes, laundry. I don't want to say I hate doing dishes, but I'm like, ugh, unloading and reloading the dishwasher, not my favorite chore. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I am going to pair this with something that's attractive to me, which is trash TV. Pop my little AirPod in, do my thing, boom. So find a way to make your new habit attractive. Maybe you love moving your body with someone else and you're trying to move your body more. Make a date with your friend. Okay. How do you make it attractive? You love spending time with your friend. You guys get to talk, social time. You love that. And you're getting your movement in. Okay. And the last thing, the last tool that I use when I'm creating a new habits is to make it obvious. And this one is so simple. How can you see it with your eyes? How many times have you guys been working at changing a habit and then by 3 p.m. it's like, oh, right, I forgot. I'm like drinking my water. Oh, right, I forgot. I'm trying not to eat, processed foods. And it's like you can forget because you get so busy. And then don't even get me started on if you only reminded yourself on Monday and now it's Wednesday. Like whatever you're working on, you need to make it obvious. And one way I would recommend is a habit tracker that you see every single day, wherever you need to put that, whether it's at your desk or in your kitchen. But also like let's say you want to lift weights after work when you get home. Where's your sneakers? Put it literally in front of the door so you see it. You need to see it with your eyes. Make it obvious. Okay. But at the end of the day, I want you guys to start small. I want you to make it easy. I want you to celebrate your wins and make your habit so satisfying, so easy, so attractive, and so obvious that staying consistent isn't a problem. There was one other little tip that was like, make it easy. And it was like the 2-minute rule. I like this one. And it was like, whatever habit you're trying to create, just do it for 2 minutes because that makes it so easy that it's almost impossible to say no to. So let's say movement. Movement fits so good with that one. Let's say you're trying to move your body, but you don't move your body at all right now. Could you set a goal to move your body for 2 minutes every day? I think you could do that. And so that creates this like win and this like dopamine hit of like I did that and momentum and inspiration and motivation because you did the thing. So what's so important when you're trying to create new habits, more so than what you're actually doing, is that you're actually doing it, right? And you're getting into that routine of actually doing it. That's the more important part. But honestly, you want to change your life, you want to change your weight, you want to change your wellness, you want to change your relationships, you want to change your financial situation, whatever you want to change, it's waiting behind habits. And those are 4 tools that you can use when you are trying to create good habits. All right, everyone, have an amazing weekend. It's a super long weekend over here because kids don't have school on Monday. Tuesday's Remembrance Day, and I'm going to embrace it. We're going to have a little bit of downtime, get some work done, take advantage of maybe a little bit of a sleep in. We've got some basketball this weekend. I'm going to Cat Nat this weekend. Is anyone else going to Cat Nat? Going to dinner, which I haven't gone out to dinner with my girlfriends in so long. And I'm very much looking forward to a cocktail and some French fries. Really love Gusto's French fries. Okay, everyone, have an amazing week. And you know my DMs are always open. I love hearing from you guys. Bye.